This is Retro Rocky, aka 5200 for life. Obviously, it's Bird Gang. That should go without saying. Shout out to Laura Brunson, LB fam, doing great things for the Eagles and Eagles fans all over the globe. Keep doing your good work. That's another brother providing positive YouTube material. Shout out to Flossie Carter, another brother doing tech, great things on the YouTube tip. And two of the originators, two African Americans who have contributed a lot to the YouTube tech scene, your average consumer and Marquez Brownlee. I always shout out my white brothers and sisters that doing content on here. I gotta shout y'all out. You get a chance, check out your average consumer, check out Marquez Brownlee, check out Flossie Carter. They doing great things. Okay, I got that out the way. I would love to tell you that as a retro gamer that I'm here to just heap praise on the entire video game industry. Because for years, us as gamers, especially black gamers and Latino gamers, minority gamers, we've looked at gaming as a way to escape our realities. And with that in mind, allow me to, a side note, I want to especially acknowledge Nolan Bushnell, Ted Dabney, and Al Alcorn, who in 1972 kickstarted a company that was responsible for us having a habit. It is a habit in a way, or the hobby we have known as home video games. That's the year they founded Atari, 1972. And we owe a debt of gratitude. Mr. Bushnell, you are my favorite video game icon of all time. I wish I could tell you that as a poor little chubby kid from the projects on the East Coast, from a family of meager means, the fact that you and your cronies started a company that really saved my life and the lives of countless other kids from low income situations who could have found a million bad things to get into. We found a million great things to get into because of your company. Nolan, we owe you a debt of gratitude we'll never be able to repay. So I want to say that a lot of what I'm about to say is not directed at the golden era companies. This is not about Atari or the 2600, the 5200, or the 7800. This is not about Coleco or the ColecoVision or the Coleco tabletop line or Coleco Gemini or Coleco Atom. And this is not about Mattel or the Intellivision any more than it's about Milton Bradley or the Vectrex or Magnavox and the Odyssey and the Odyssey 2. All those companies and systems get a pass because the gaming community was in its infancy. But no more passes can be given out. For over 40 years now, we've had this hobby. And for over 40 years, this hobby has made millions, if not billions of dollars off black, Latino, Asian, Russian, Polish, German, Italian, and every other ethnic group you could think of out there for decades. I'm talking everybody from Nintendo and Sega to Capcom to Konami to Squaresoft to Tecmo, and the list goes on and on. Well, the passes cannot be given out anymore. Do you realize from 1972, when the home video game market was founded, all the way up to 1989, it took that long until we had one video game where the protagonist of the video game was a black man. And where that black man was not playing sports, it was not a criminal, breaking the law, or engaging in nonsense or senseless violence. That game was Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which went on test sites in the arcades in '89 and saw global distribution in 1990 for the arcades, for the Sega Master System, and for the Sega Genesis. And you might ask me, where am I going with this? Well, let's see, 72, To 82, that was 10 years. 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. So 18 years? It took 18 years, about, give or take, between the inception of the home video game industry and for that industry to deliver just one game starring an African American in a positive light. Again, that game was Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. That game sold millions of copies. That game helped sell millions of Sega Genesis systems. Here we are, 30, 40 years later, and that is still the only video game in the history of this industry with mass distribution, released to retail for consumption by consumers, that starred a black man who had a black face on the cover, that didn't involve dribbling a basketball, catching a football, putting on boxing gloves, grabbing a putting iron, or engaging in any other type of sports activities. It's one game, billions of dollars. I need to know, Nintendo, do Black Lives Matter to you? Do they, Nintendo? I bought an NES. I bought a Super NES. I bought an N64. I bought a GameCube. I bought every handheld you ever put out. I even bought a Wii. I bought a Wii U. And I owned it for more than a year. So don't question whether I'm dedicated. Sega already gave Sega their props. Sega gets a pass because between what they did with Michael Jackson's Moonwalker and signing Buster Douglas, even though I know that's a sports icon, that was a big deal for that moment. We weren't at where we're at now with it. Too much time has passed. One game, and that game sold millions of copies. That game was so popular that it got released for home computers, for the Sega Genesis, the Sega Master System, and home computers. That's 4 platforms. And it sold like crazy on all 4 platforms. So you help me understand, industry, why is the ball being dropped? Hey, Nintendo, I bought Metroid. I bought Zelda. I bought Super Mario Brothers. I bought F-Zero. I bought Kirby. I bought Pokemon. I bought just about every franchise you've ever released. And not a single one of them had somebody in the game that looked like me. If I was a young black kid growing up, obsessed with Nintendo video games right now, I'd be hard-pressed to find any examples of you putting out a AAA title where the protagonist in the game was African American. As a matter of fact, the only time you've had a black person as the central figure in any of your games, it was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And you found the way to take an athlete who at the time was the hero of young black kids all over the world, and you turned him into a bad guy. The game which should have showed us playing as Mike Tyson and him getting to the top and getting his belts, instead made him the ultimate bad guy. So, you owe us one, Nintendo. Square us off. Black people all over the world but play role-playing games. I've seen black people play everything from EverQuest to Chrono Trigger to Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I've seen black people import games in Japanese and try to play through them just because they love your games that much. You mean to tell me the great minds of Squaresoft, the people behind Final Fantasy, the great minds at Sega, the people behind Phantasy Star, the great minds behind Suikoden, and all the great RPG games, y'all can't come together and create an RPG that involves a group of people that look like me, going on a quest that doesn't involve violence, that doesn't involve drugs, that doesn't involve sports, a quest where they all get to know each other, where they get to go do this common goal, achieve this common goal. and watch these characters, these brown characters, evolve over time in a positive manner, you can't give us that? I think you can, Square. I think y'all got some smart people over there. Konami, I love you. Thank you for the TurboGrafx 16 Mini. Love it. And thank you for Castlevania and for Metal Gear and for all these great games you've given us. We've given you millions of dollars too. And you're one of the bigger names in the industry. Can we get a game from you starring anybody that's black doing anything? And now it's just about to get ugly. There's certain companies I can name, but I'll be here forever. I'm going to go for the big dogs and swing for the fences. Capcom, my brothers. My favorite fighting game of all time is Street Fighter 1. As crazy as that sounds. I know y'all thinking, he old. He definitely old as fart. Street Fighter 1? Yes, 1987. My uncle's bodega store. Fell in love with Ken and Ryu the first time I saw him on that game. I've been playing Capcom fighting games ever since. And Capcom, I gotta give you credit. You've always found a way to include African Americans in your games. And I'm not gonna cheat. I'm gonna go from memory. I'm thinking about Dudley, Sean, Balrog, Mike, Elena, Bishop. I think that's everybody. That's all the black or brown characters. Rashid. I can't forget my namesake. That is my actual given birth name, Rashid Malik. So yeah, y'all even threw a Rashid in there. These are all the brown characters, Dalsim, that have been in your game. And I'm probably forgetting some, and I'll get blasted in the comments. But these are all the brown characters that have been in your fighting games, Capcom. Not a single one of those games, from rival schools to Marvel vs. Capcom to the whole entire Street Fighter universe, not a single one of those games have ever had a black person who was the main protagonist. Yeah, you've portrayed us as ancillary characters who may have been good or bad, but the story has never been about them. Their story is in support of Ryu and Ken, and I love Ryu and Ken. Trust me, I do. But Capcom, I see Evo all the time, baby. It's a lot of brothers that play fighting games. Can you come up with a fighting game? If we have to be in a game where we're fighting, can we at least be the good guy? Can we be the protagonist? Can we be the ones at the center of the story just one time? Can you show me that the great minds of Capcom can think of that? I know what you're thinking, Capcom. Well, why don't you go after NetherRealm? I could, but here's the problem. NetherRealm and their Mortal Kombat franchise, they've given us everybody from Jax to Jackie Briggs. And they've had major storylines in recent Mortal Kombat lore. So I'm not calling them on the carpet. They kind of get the same path Sega got. They've done their part. Capcom, I need you to step up. And I know you can do it. Last but not least, this the doozy. 2K Sports. You had your inception all the way back on the Sega Dreamcast in 9999. What a beautiful date. 2K Sports, I believe it would be literally impossible for you to put out 3 basketball games in a row that didn't have somebody black on the cover. But yet, I've been looking all over YouTube. I haven't found a single video with somebody from your company saying, hey, we support Black Lives Matter. We support anybody who's standing against social injustice. We, too, are tired of seeing unarmed men killed with their hands in the air. We're tired of seeing unarmed men killed in a chokehold on the ground. We're tired of seeing unarmed men killed with a knee to the back of the neck. We need you to come out and say, we, the people behind 2K, we stand with African Americans and the African American community when we say Black Lives Matter. I believe Black Lives Matter, the whole movement, it's not just about us. We've realized one thing in all of this. If white folks don't stand with us too, we can't get anywhere. I hope there's some bold, brash, strong white people at 2K that might say, hey, he's right. We on the clock. And yes, you are. You are definitely on the clock. Last but not least, EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Dude, I've been rolling with y'all since the Apple II. I've been rolling with y'all since Sega Genesis 90? The fall of 1990 when the first Madden came out. EA, outside of baseball and hockey games, I don't think any sports game you ever put out came out 2 years in a row without somebody black band on the cover. No company can say that 60-70% of their good fortune was because of black, Latino, Asian, and minority dollars. We're the ones you put on the cover of Madden. We the ones that you used to put on the cover of NBA Live. Tiger Woods is still black. He counts. You know, man? MJ just donated $100 million. I'm sure Nike gonna follow suit soon. But you telling me if MJ could come up with $100 million to put towards Black Lives Matter, to help with education and enlightenment, the EA Sports, the baddest sports video game company on the planet, the biggest third-party publisher, of all time, give or take some with Activision? You telling me you can't put out a statement, upload a video saying, we the people of EA Sports, and we the people behind Madden stand with African Americans when we say Black Lives Matter? If Roger Goodell can step up, y'all can. Help us out, man. We could use your support, EA. We could use your support, video game industry. I'm a nobody. If 5 people see this video, then my job is done. I'm not angry. I'm just concerned that you've taken our dollars and our love of this hobby for granted for too long. And you've not done a lot of giving back. We've given you everything we have. Every year, year after year. From Madden on the Genesis to Madden 2020. From 2K on the Dreamcast to 2K 2020. We've given and we've given. We need you to give back a little bit. It's time for the game industry to start telling us we matter. To start going into their wallets and proving that we matter. And you can do more than just make us the stars of a video game or put us on the cover of a video game. How about you start putting us in some executive positions? How about next year when they have E3 and you roll out your footage of all your games for E3? Wouldn't it be nice if one of the people that walked out on stage at E3 was African American? We lost Reggie. Maybe we lose Reggie and maybe hopefully we get 5 more Reggies in replacement. Who knows? Maybe I don't understand how things work that high up. Maybe you're not allowed to put black people in positions of power or decision-making positions. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't have professional equipment. I'm just a humble nobody with a very humble opinion. And I just feel like, in my opinion, it's time for some of y'all to start giving back. It's time for all the little white kids all over the planet to stop seeing video games where all they see is us playing sports, or they see us in Saints Row or Grand Theft Auto, robbing, raping, pillaging, stabbing, killing people. A whole generation behind us, Generation X, that's what they grew up seeing. A lot of these kids all over the world, their images of black people outside of television and movies have been in video games. And all they've ever seen us do is play sports and commit crime. So when they see us on TV being choked to death, in their mind, The cops are just killing the bad guys. You help put that image in their head. Help us remove it now. Let's replace those images, with some positive ones. Again, I'm just a humble YouTuber. My name is Retro Rocky, aka 5200 for life, and I'm still down with gaming. I can't wait for the fall. I'm running with Team Xbox Series X. I can't wait to see what you have for me. I'm down. But somebody shoot a message to Mr. Gates or whoever's calling the shots over there at Microsoft and tell them it would help if y'all come out and say Black Lives Matter. It would help if y'all put some black people in some important positions within Team Xbox. Sony, you don't get a pass either. Black people have been buying PlayStation since 1995. Some of us since 1994. How about you come out and tell us Black Lives Matter too? How about you come out and tell us you're tired of the nonsense? And Nintendo, we as African Americans have bought every Game Boy and every console and every game franchise that you hold dear. How about you tell us? I don't care if it's the current president or Mr. Miyamoto himself. I don't care if it's the current president of Sega or Mr. Yu Suzuki himself. I don't care who it is. Whether it's just the guy that took some memos or the lead designer of your game. Send somebody out to an office somewhere, sit them in front of a camera, and let us know that you appreciate all the financial support we've given your companies over the years, and that Black Lives Matter to you too. Maybe nobody sees this video, but if you do, please know my heart is in the right place. I hope we as gamers stand united. And on that note, I want to again give a special shout out to Marquez Brownlee, your average consumer, Flossie Carter. 3 positive brothers that are constantly uploading tech-related videos to YouTube that I think a little more attention should be paid to. And of course, to all my favorites. Metal Jesus, shout out. Sega Lord X, shout out. Glenn's Retro Show, shout out. Adam Korlick and Figure It Out Productions, hey, figure it out. I'm down. And to all the beautiful people out there providing YouTube content, please keep doing it. I love the retro gaming community. Mad Little Pixel, holla at me. And to my people over at Numbskull, the Court Arcade, y'all keep making the machines. They're beautiful. I'm going to keep buying them. I can't buy none no time soon, but as soon as I can, I got you. Retro Rocky, 5200 for life. Special shout out to my boy, once again, Lord Brunson. LB fam, Lord Brunson. Bird Gang for life. We're coming for you, NFL. The birds will be ready. Holla. Oh, yeah. I keep doing addendums. I'm sorry. To everybody at CNN and ABC and even at Fox News that have had the strength and the testicular fortitude to speak up on behalf of this movement, I thank you. But I especially want to thank all my athletes, especially my African American athletes, for supporting this movement day one. I want to thank Drew Brees for saying I was wrong, I'm sorry, and making it right when he didn't have to do that. I want to thank Roger Goodell for speaking up. I don't care if you believe his heart was in it. I believe his heart was in it. Thank you for speaking up. I want to thank all the people involved in the NFL and the NBA who have come out and support, especially LeBron James. We got to shout out the King. I mean, he is the poster child for sports guys and social injustice. Malcolm Jenkins, holla. Love y'all to death, man. But I got to give a special shout out, of course, to my birds. Carson Wentz, Zach Ertz, thank you for what y'all said. And Jeff Lurie, I don't know if anybody else in the league has the testicular fortitude to do this, But I do know that you have employed more African American quarterbacks than anybody in the entire league. If there's anybody that might find room for Colin Kaepernick on their team, on their roster, it's you guys. You guys gave Michael Vick a second chance, and he didn't let you down. I don't think Colin would either. I don't care if he's leading your scout team, if he's a quarterback coach. There's got to be something in our organization we could toss his way. Maybe I don't understand how big business works, and maybe it's all about lip service, and maybe everybody's going to come out and say they're interested in Colin, and ultimately nobody signs him. But if anybody would sign him, it wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me if it was the Eagles. And last but not least, to Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, and to Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, 4 times over. Especially Skip and Max. See, Stephen A. and Shannon, we expect that from them. These are strong black men, opinionated black men. I'm not surprised they stood strong at the front of this movement. But Skip, thank you, Skip. Max, thank you, because you may have actually jeopardized your jobs, your money, your livelihood to stand with us. And Skip, although you go off on tangents sometimes, we stand with you and we appreciate you, brother. And Max, thank you. That's all I can say. Molly, to the queen bee of the Fab Five, Molly Curran, keep doing your thing, girl. To all you guys, thank you for everything you done. But I still believe we got more to do. Retro Rocky. And by the way, this mask isn't a way for me to be a coward. I'm wearing this mask because I want all the little kids all over the world that might see this video to know it's not time to stop being smart. It's not time to start not practicing social distancing. We're not out of the woods yet. Keep putting your little mask on, little boys, little girls. Keep wearing your mask like Retro Rocky. Until they tell us that they have eradicated this disease or we have a cure or a vaccine, y'all keep wearing your mask. But that's the only reason I have it on. It's not because I'm scared. I ain't never scared.